I'm going to ask you some questions about environmental problems or ways we muddy the waters for others. If you think the answer is true, raise your right hand. If you think the answer is false, raise your left hand. Let's start. To provide the U.S. with enough meat to satisfy the demand for hamburgers, the Amazon rainforest is cut down to provide cattle grazing land. The reduction of the rainforest in Brazil and the methane gas produced by the cattle result in a change in the climate in Africa that causes people to die. If you think this is true, raise your right hand. Raise your left hand if you think it's false. If people in the United States reduced their meat intake by just 10%, the savings in grain and soybeans could adequately feed 60 million people, the number of people who starve to death worldwide each year. At the rate we generate garbage, about 100 pounds per week for the average American family, we need 300 new landfills every year. Actually, the average family does produce about 100 pounds of trash per week, but this means we need about 500 new landfills every year. An estimated 14 billion pounds of trash are thrown into the sea every year. Making aluminum from recycled aluminum uses 90% less energy than making it from scratch. The energy saved on one can is enough to run a television set for 3 hours. Every year, the United States throws away enough aluminum to rebuild our commercial air fleet. Actually, every 3 months, the United States throws away enough aluminum to rebuild our commercial air fleet. Annually, the United States produces the equivalent of 10 pounds of plastic for every person on Earth. Plastic is fully recyclable, just like glass, metal, and paper. Actually, plastic cannot be returned to its original form. Residue is always left behind. Perhaps you were surprised by some of the answers. Maybe you were surprised by how much or how little you knew. In 2018, the United States exported over 1 million tons of plastic waste, which was about 1/3 of its total recycling. The United States isn't the only country that sends its recycling to other countries. Most of the plastic waste was sent to countries that don't have good ways to deal with it. There is an exception to that rule: Sweden. Sweden imports trash from Norway and Britain. Norway and Britain pay Sweden because it's cheaper than paying landfills to take their trash. Sweden takes it because they figured out how to turn trash into usable energy. In fact, Sweden has 34 waste-to-energy plants, which burn trash instead of coal, gas, or wood. The energy and gas created provides heat and electricity to houses and fuels city buses, garbage trucks, and taxis. It's not a perfect system, but now only 1% of Sweden's household waste goes to landfills. Why does what we do about these issues matter? It matters because it's connected to our relationship with God and living a life of holiness. In the beginning, God created everything. All our relationships were right and good. Our relationship with God, with each other, with ourselves, and with all of nature, including the earth itself. Then Adam and Eve sinned, and all those relationships were broken. Then Jesus came, so our relationship with God could be right again. When our relationship with God is fixed, and He helps us to live holy lives, our love for Him encourages us to repair all our other relationships. This includes our relationship with God's world. When we recognize it as His world and see His reflection in its beauty, we both understand and want to do the job He gave us: care for His creation.